Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Danny McDaniel, and I'm joining you here from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. My wife's name is Diane. We live in Southlake, Texas, and I'm your host for tonight's X39 presentation. Actually, I have a special guest who's going to help me host it here at the beginning, Dr. Suzi Warden from Chicago, Illinois. So welcome, Dr. Suzi. Thanks for joining me as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Can't wait to throw you in front of everybody here in a minute. Well, we want you to see this right off the bat, this disclaimer, that it's important for you to know that personal testimonials are always a direct reflection of someone's personal story, and they may not be typical for all people. We do not treat or cure chronic sicknesses or diseases. The LifeWave phototherapy patches do not heal or cure people. They have a particular structure function that has nothing to do with healing or curing the body. God designed the human body to heal itself, given the right conditions for the body to function at optimal levels. So we are not curing people. You can need to consult your healthcare professional or doctor for advice regarding treatments of sickness or disease. So here's what we're doing tonight. We are talking about the X39 stem cell activation patch. It's right here, and it's made by a company called LifeWave. And this patch is amazing. I got on this patch 2 years and 9 months ago, December 2022. And I got on this patch because I got a phone call from a friend. I was desperate. He didn't know it, but I was desperate for something to change in my life because I had what was called a frozen shoulder and a partially torn rotator cuff. I could not move my shoulder. It was completely locked up. And I was a one-armed man for about 2.5, 3 months. And it was unbearable. I was miserable. And when he told me about the patches, I said, hey, I'm desperate. I need these patches, so get them to me. And I actually signed up to be a brand partner. Wasn't interested in the business, but I said, hey, I don't want to be a customer. I want to get these wholesale and get them for me and Diane to try. And I'm desperate for results. So we get on the patch, and in 6 days, my shoulder started unlocking. Discomfort started leaving my shoulder as well. Over the next 5 months, my shoulder completely healed itself because it was given the right conditions, which we're going to discuss. And on top of that, what I didn't know, I didn't expect, had no idea, not getting on Zooms, didn't care. But at 4 or 5 months in, I quit going to the restroom at night. So that my 2 trips to the bathroom because of my prostate, done. And my hair started turning brown again. Wrinkles started going away. My floaters went away in my eye. At the 8th month mark, I didn't need glasses to drive anymore, or for night glare, or to watch my sons play college football in the college stadiums. And at the 12.5 month mark, I did not need glasses to read anymore. And there's been so many more little things that have happened over the last 2 years and 9 months. It's amazing. But what started out with just a frozen shoulder and torn rotator cuff turned into one miracle after another. And we've been seeing that over and over again. And you're going to see a lot of that tonight. But I want to introduce to you once again, Dr. Suzi Warden from Chicago, Illinois, because I'm going to throw Suzi's before picture up there. And you're going to see and hear right now her astounding results before we talk about the X39. Suzi?
Thank you so much. So I was very skeptical in the beginning. I've been in chiropractic for 30 years. And as you can imagine, a lot of people have come in my office telling me that they have the greatest and the this and the that. And I was just, 30 years in, I've had, the pleasure of treating a lot of people. And, I've used a lot of supplements. We've used a lot of technology, light therapy, but I was not looking for something else in my life. I didn't want to start another business. I didn't want to get into all that. Danny, you're not sharing your screen anymore. My lovely body's not up there. Not that I want to look at it, but so when I finally said yes to my friend, she was telling me, you really do need to see this. This is the most amazing technology because it helps the body heal by itself. So you wear this technology, you put it on your skin, your body's infrared light that is beaming out of it is reflected back in. And I thought, how does that work? And so in my mind, I really thought it was more of a placebo. But when my friend told me that there was over 20 years of research and over 200 patents, I thought, that's interesting. So I took a look at them. I wasn't going to, go through all of them, but I said, hey, if there's research and there's patents, it's got to be real. So I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm going to jump in. And if this is something that's going to work for me and my family, I'm absolutely sharing it with my patients. And I just started sharing it right away. Like before I even got the patches, I got excited because I started looking into the different testimonials, and with the patents and research backing it up, I thought, what's there to lose? There's not one thing to lose. So I patched myself and I hope for the best. I was turning 60 and I thought, you know what? I want to lift heavier this year. I want to be better. I don't want to get more and more old as I age. I would like to go backwards. So I had taken a picture before, and about a little over 3 months, a little over 90 days into it, I thought, you know what? It was all the way through the holidays. I'm going to take a picture, because not only was I sleeping better, not only did my knee give me less problems, and I had always my knee was just hurting, and so I think as I was working, I would lean on that knee, and as I was going through, I thought, you know what? My knee doesn't hurt as much. I'm sleeping better. And then I took this after picture, not thinking, I thought, you know what, no way. But I did feel less fluffy. So I looked at these pictures, I'm like, oh my God, the only thing I changed was putting these patches on. And I was consistent every day. But guess what? It didn't work in 2 weeks. It didn't work in 3 weeks. It didn't work in 8 weeks. I mean, it was working, but had I not kept going, I would have never seen this. And it just gets better. I get stronger. I'm lean. My muscles are better. I have more energy, and it's getting better and better every day. So I love this, and I'd love to share it with people.
All right. Well, we're going to share even some more about the patch in the upcoming slides. And so I'm going to start out, with you guys and really address the problem. So you understand, when you see all these pictures tonight and hear more from Dr. Suzi here in a second, that you really understand there's a solution to the problem, but you got to know the problem. So the problem is, by the time you're 30, this is a scientific fact, half of your stem cells have become dormant and you start aging more. And, that's why professional athletes a lot of times are not, when an NFL team, when you're 30, they're not as interested in you anymore as they were when you were 27 or 22, because they didn't know it was stem cells, but they've always known when you turn 30, you're 31, 32, 33, you're just not going to be as fast. You're not going to recover as well. And there's a 25-year-old that's going to kick your butt. And so they replace you. And by the time you're 60, almost 90% of your stem cells have gone dormant. Now that's a huge, huge statistic that you need to understand, because you're going to fight for your health with supplements. You're going to fight for your health with exercise. You're going to fight with your health by making better food choices. And we should always do that. But without knowing, that 90% of your stem cells are dormant, that, you sometimes don't know what kind of fight you're in. Well, now you know what kind of fight you're in. So really, the solution should be, how can I win the fight by activating my dormant stem cells? And has there ever been an answer for that? Well, there hasn't been, but there is now. And it is the X39 stem cell activation patch. We believe it's arguably the greatest regenerative health technology of our entire lifetimes. Now, that's a big, bold statement, but yet we believe, because of the patents that are on it and because of the hundreds of thousands of stories now that validate what it does, we believe that's a pretty accurate statement. But you got to get on the patch for yourself. And I believe you're going to have plenty of reasons why. And so this patch was invented by David Schmidt, who's just an incredible scientist. He has well over 200 patents. There's 70 global patents on the X39 stem cell patch. There's over 80 independent double-blind clinical studies that LifeWave has done on all their phototherapy patches, many of them with the X39 patch. And so it is really, really solid what is happening here. And so I'm not going to give you the whole LifeWave story tonight, but LifeWave is a 20-year-old company. David Schmidt did not start this with the X39 stem cell patch. This patch came out about 4.5 years ago. David Schmidt used to basically, he was a government contractor for the Department of Defense, making life-saving technologies for the U.S. Navy and life-saving equipment for the U.S. Navy, and then submarine, high-tech submarine engines for the Navy SEALs, which turned into the first phototherapy patch for the Navy SEALs that he made, called the Energy Enhancers, back in the early 2000s, which went on to not only be on the Navy SEALs, but went to the U.S. Olympic team. And then those relationships caused him and influenced David Schmidt to take this into the world of direct selling because it needed lips, which leads us to where we are today, an incredible 20-year-old company with patented technology. You can't patent placebo. And so this is not about a placebo effect. This is about changing human beings' lives. So Suzi, why don't you take over and tell them real quick, what they're going to see here.
In the first couple days, you can actually, it is in the research, it says that in the first 24 to 48 hours, this turns on 4,100 genes. So we only have 1,200 genes. So it actually allows that body to turn on those genes. Within 6 weeks, you're going to see your brain start to turn on. Within 3 months, you are going to go to the doctor and see blood work changing. I had a patient that his cardiologist couldn't believe it. And his heart actually took this technology and just rebuilt. And she was amazed, 81 years old. Within 6 months, it just keeps getting better. You keep getting more energy and you just keep going with those cells being more and more regenerative. And people are seeing eyesight get better. They're seeing their hair get darker. So it just goes on and on. It is a proprietary phototherapy technology. It works with our own light. It's patented nanotechnology. It reflects, like I said, it reflects the infrared light that's emitted that you can see people, coming in in the nighttime. That's your infrared light. So he has made it so that infrared light is reflected back in your body. And that's what increases the copper peptides, which increase those stem cells. It's absolutely amazing. So there's nothing that's going into your system. That's the beautiful part. There's no chemicals. It's your body creating the power to do this. It's absolutely just mind-blowing to me. No chemicals, so it's not going to react with anything anybody's taking. No supplements, no medications. All it does is allow your body to function more efficiently.
And Dr. Suzi, you just said it all, but I'm just going to say some repeat stuff here just so you guys get it. This phototherapy patch, it's non-invasive, non-transdermal, has no contraindications. It's not a supplement. It's not a drug. It is totally safe to put on the human body. And so it's got massive clinical studies on it. It's got 70 global patents on it. The research is there. Our company's full of cardiologists. Our company's full of other internal medicine doctors, medical doctors, family practitioners, chiropractors, health, wellness professionals of all kinds. The company is full of them. And Dr. Suzi's just one of many. So they all do their research. So just know that you won't lack finding the research. It is out there and it's a plenty and it's not shallow. So,
and again, there's nothing on it. There's nothing in it. There's nothing that's going in. So, it's just that safe. It's amazing.
Well, go ahead and tell them
Okay.
what they're going to see overall.
So some of these benefits, you get increased strength. You have reduced inflammation. You can see in my pictures, my inflammation went away. It burned fat better. And as we burn fat, we're going to create more energy. If your body burns carbohydrates or muscle, it's not going to create as much energy as when it's burning fat. And so you get more energy. You have more vitality. You definitely just feel like you're stronger and better and can push through the day. People say, I've like worked 12 hours today and I'm not even tired. The mental clarity, that's in that beginning. All of a sudden you seek more clearly. Your brain just is sharper. You've got restored skeletal conditions. So it's rebuilding muscle, bone, cartilage, and you can see your joints work better. You can feel your joints work better. There's improved sleep and you look better. So not only with that inflammation, but your skin looks more dewy. You just look younger and younger because your body is actually reversing in age. It's not anti-aging, but it's actually reversing in age. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Okay, guys. So in wearing the patch, I'm going to cover that. It's really simple. Just put the patch on during the day, wear it for 12 hours a day, take it off. It's disposable. You can throw it away. take another patch out of your sleeve. This is a 1 month supply. It's called a sleeve. So anytime you hear the word sleeve, just know we're referring to 30 patches, which is a 30-day supply. You can place the patch on your C7, which is right behind your neck, that little bone that sticks out, or you can stick it 1 inch below your belly button, or you can put it anywhere. If your ankle hurts, put it on your ankle. If you've got discomfort in your hip, put it on your hip. Elbow, put it on your elbow. Put it wherever you want to put it and wear it for 12 hours a day. But the key is to wear it every day, because I want Dr. Suzi now is going to tell you how long you should wear it and why you should wear it for an extended period of time, because we're about to support that with a bunch of before and afters that you're going to love tonight.
You know, it's like everybody wants this whole instant gratification. And we know if we want to go on a diet, if we want to get muscle, how long does that take? You know, does it take 2 weeks and then you're going to quit the gym? Are you going to 2 weeks and you've had enough of your better nutrition? This is the same thing. This is rebuilding from the inside of your cellular makeup. I mean, this is actually rebuilding. So if you're going to start the patch because of your right shoulder and you don't see results in 3 to 4 weeks, you have to keep wearing it. I tell my patients, don't even try it, don't even start it unless you're going to commit to 1 month for every decade old you are. So if you're 50 years old, you've got to commit to at least 5 months. How long is it taking you to get this way? You've got to give it time. So you know, a lot of people like myself, had I stopped, oh, I don't think this is working, I would have never seen those results. And you're gonna hear from a lot of people that the longer they wear this, the more results they get. And so there's not a better time and there's not a better choice to wear the patch, but continue to do it, because as you continue, you're going to see more and more better results, more and more greater results.
Well, thank you, Dr. Suzi. Appreciate you jumping on here tonight.
No problem.
And, you know, and teaching these guys about the patch. I know it was valuable to hear from a doctor. So we're going to move on with some testimonies now. Okay, guys. So here's the thing. I'm about to show you some testimonies of a lot of different people that have turned in slides because they volunteered to share these with you tonight. And the purpose is we want you to know this. You can get a wow like on day one. There's actually about 70% of the people that we put a patch on are going to get a wow effect anywhere between 10 minutes and 5 days. So the patch, people are going to see sometimes results very, very quickly. However, some people don't feel anything for a month. And so that's why you don't quit after a month, because it's scientifically doing its work inside of your body. You have to give this a month for every decade you've been alive. And we're going to validate that with these photos. But this first one, you know, you've already seen it, is David and Lonnie Lang. This is their pictures after 6 weeks of being on the patch. So you can see the difference right there. Check out Bo Bevins. This is 90 days with Bo Bevins. Bo didn't get that way in 90 days, but look what happened after 90 days. That's amazing. Okay, take a look at Julie Engel. Just after being on the patch for 4 months, already that much more vibrant after 4 months. This is Ross Branning. Guys, the picture on the left, his before, was 9 years ago. He looked like that 9 years ago, and he just got on the patch 4 months ago, and it's already done that kind of work in his life. Would you be willing to get on the patch for 4 months if it changed your face and skin that much from 9 years ago? That's pretty crazy. How about Connie Queen? She's been on 5 months, already looking so much more vibrant after 5 months. Here's Marsha Rankin Chris, before and afters, 5 months. Would you be one to get on the patch and stay with it 5 months if it did that much for your face and that much for your, you know, just your complexion and wrinkles? What about Carla Runner? Look at what 6 months has done for Carla Runner. She just got on this patch on March the 1st, and it's already dramatically changed her skin, which you can see the proof is in the pudding. And then here's Dusty Wilson. She's 75 years old. You've got your before picture. You got her at 3 months, and we got her at a picture of just 6 months. 6 months now of being on the patch. That's just a remarkable difference for a 75-year-old woman. So Dusty, you know, congratulations that you're getting such great results. You know, here's Candace Watson, a friend of ours out of Ohio. And, you know, not only it's amazing before and after picture, but look, she said, I've worn false eyelashes for 4 years to hide my hooded eyes. Since patching, I've noticed a huge tightening of my skin and my hooded eyes are greatly improving. So much that I've opted to go all natural with my lashes. My fine lines and wrinkles have greatly decreased and my skin just has a glow. I get compliments all the time on how young people think I look. We were just in Mexico with her last week and she looks that young. This is 6 months before and now after. She's 42, feels like she's 25. So congrats, Candace. Guys, look at this. Wendy Asarch, 7 months on the patch. Look what it has done to her whole neck area. That is absolutely amazing. This is why we wanted you to see why you want to be on this patch for more than 30 days. You've got to see, you know, when your body starts reactivating its own stem cells and the body's able to begin to heal itself from the inside out and your collagen begins to increase and your heart begins to reverse in age and it's your stem cells that are doing it. So look at Larry Lerbakken, 8 months on the patch. That's an astounding difference in his overall appearance. Once again, it's consistency. How about Gina Wirtz, 8 months? I mean, she's got a whole collage here. Some of you might not be able to see that all clearly, but if I was able to really enlarge this for you, she's had amazing, amazing differences in her face and her overall appearance in 8 months and is much more vibrant. Here's Sarah Thomas. Here's a before, a middle, and an after. So on the far left, you can see 8 months ago, there was Sarah. Look at the far right now, 8 months later. Look at the significance even under her neck and around her neck and just everywhere. I mean, just the whole face. It's pretty amazing. Congratulations, Sarah. And here's our friend Jane Gonzalez. Jane will tell you, look that has done amazing things for inflammation and weight loss. And so we see Jane because she lives here locally where we are, and she's dramatically changed in appearance over the last few months since we've gotten to know Jane. So congratulations, Jane. Here is Charity Pie. So I was just on a Zoom with Charity earlier today, and you guys, you can see what a big difference that is. 9 months on the patch. It goes back to commitment. And as you notice, every slide here, we're progressing in the amount of time someone's been on the patch. My wife and I have only been on the patch for, a little over 2.5 years, 2 years and 9 months. Most of the people on our team have only been on the patch for 2 years or less, and many of them for a year or less. Here's Chris Hapgood out of Oklahoma, 9 months on the patch. There's her before, there's her after. Look around her eyes and above her eyes. Look on the side of her face, and you can see what a difference that is. So here's hers, where she talks about facial inflammation gone, creepy and wrinkly skin on the neck gone, wrinkles on my face resolving, eyelids lifted, small almond-shaped eyes now are open and round. The age spots on my arms gone. A patch on my calf with varicose and spider views are half the size and resolving. Both of these photos, no foundation makeup. I'm 65 years old. I feel like I'm 25. See, a lot of it has to do with how you feel too, because you're reverse aging on the inside. Here's Joy Branning after 9 months on the patch. You can see how much more vibrant she looks after 9 months here. And here's Elizabeth Salvati before and after 9 months and no more rosacea. So you can see it's made a significant difference in her face and obviously her life. Here's Donna Hammock before and after 9 months as well. You can see the total significant difference in her neck, in her face, all of that, guys. The reverse aging, 9 months on the patch. Congratulations to our Texan friend, Donna Hammock. Here's Mary Jane Bone after 10 months. Now look on the far right, because that's her before. And you can see the significant difference of that between her after right there. And really even the complexion. There's this skin appearance is so much more vibrant after 10 months than it was 10 months before in that same situation, without any kind of makeup or anything like that. Okay, here's our good friends Mario and Tina Barbosa. This is pictures of them after being on the patch for 10 months. This is astounding. Guys, just hone in on both of them right there. 10 months before, 10 months after, and look at the difference in skin, inflammation, and appearance. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, we got Lisa Roll from the Burleson, Texas area. This is another amazing story. 11 months on the patch, and she has gotten younger and younger and massively younger looking. Here's Susan Whittier, July 24th to August 25th. So another, 11-month story there. Amazing results after 11 months. Then you got Brooke Whitfield, who's been on the patch for a year, done amazing things for inflammation. She had hair loss. She had chronic fatigue. She had migraines, inflammation. She was always sick, restless nights, joint and muscle discomfort, brain fog, insulin resistant, GI issues, endometriosis, PCOS, torn hip labrum, sciatic discomfort, blurred vision, skin issues, all of that. She's had amazing results with the X39 patch and what it's done for her life. So congratulations to Brooke. Here's her friend Marla Carr, Joe and Marla Carr out of the Midland, Odessa area. They started on the patch a year ago. That's an astounding difference. And I want to read you what Marla wrote in her story. After 2 years of extensive testing, $13,000 of out-of-pocket expenses with excellent insurance, multiple hospital visits, and 5 healthcare professionals could not tell me why my arms and legs were sporadically going numb, which caused a fall that caused me to break my left fibula. So the photo on the left was, last year, April of last year. They just left the neurologist office. He told me for all medically speaking purposes, I was totally numb from my elbows to fingertips and knees to my toes. And all of a sudden they get on the patch and they get their life back. So that was these pictures are 1 year apart, their 46th wedding anniversary. Congratulations to Joe and Marla for that amazing difference in your overall appearance and how you feel in life. Now, here's an incredible picture. There's actually 2 different pictures here, 2 different men. The one on the bottom is David Simpkins. That's after 1 year on the patch. What it did to that, I should have looked up how to pronounce this. Well, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. Y'all can read that. And it's astounding stuff. Sharon Gee, that's exactly 1 year apart. I started patching September 15th, 2024. I have a scapula nerve entrapment and knee surgery unscheduled. No reading glasses at the 7th month, incision open scar fading, just to name part of my testimony. Sharon's had amazing results, as you can see on the patch. Here's our friend Lacey Del Gracia as well. After 13 months, you could see the huge differences of what it's done for her and her skin from the neck all the way up in 13 months. And here's our friend Terry Miller after 15 months on the patch. Now, if this is not astounding and if that doesn't blow you away, I mean, as if all the other ones didn't, I don't know what does. So right now, I want you guys to hear from our friend Terry Miller. Terry, why don't you jump on here?
Hi there, Danny. Oh my gosh, I was just blown away by all of those before and afters. I had so much gratitude just about 15 months ago when our good friends introduced. I had had long COVID complications, and quite honestly we've been married 40 years, and I actually kind of asked my husband to leave me because it was getting really complicated. But my good friend reached out, and I just, I was like, you know what? It's a price of a cup of coffee a day. I had paid $20,000 for stem cell injections. I was like, sure, get this on my body, however, we can. And, Danny, when you asked me to speak tonight, I was kind of going down memory lane. So the first night, so I was having serious sleep problems. So I use a sleep app. And the first night, my sleep app thought there was something wrong because I had so much deep sleep. But then I'd had a hip replacement in 7 months prior, and my incision had not healed. And within 3 days, my incision finally healed. And I was back in a wheelchair, and within 3 weeks, I was off all pain medication, anti-inflammatories, and haven't had to do anything since then. Okay, and those are the things I cared about, right? Then 2 months, I took that photo, or actually it was a different photo from 2 months. I was like, oh, look at my skin and my décolleté area. Okay, I'm pretty excited about that. I didn't really care about that, to be honest with you. But it was pretty crazy. And then, less trips to the bathroom, more energy. But, I'm committed to not only 1 month per decade because I'm 60, but I am committed for the rest of my life. It's like, would I stop brushing my teeth just because I have no cavities? But at 6 months, no, I don't know my readers anymore. So it's just like these ongoing things that are happening. But, once I spoke to my friends and they gave me a little bit of information about it, while my patches were on the way, I started doing my research. Danny, I went to the thisitinfo.com and I just became a little geeky, about it. Picked up the phone, called 9 friends and family, and they all got started before my patches even arrived. And, I'm sure you guys were all introduced to this from a friend. Jump in, get it on your body, and let the technology heal your body. So just I've loved it. And we never thought that we would jump in and treat this as a business, but almost like a social moral obligation to share it with the world. And we are having a blast and serving a lot of people and creating a phenomenal income. So rejuvenative health is the hottest industry in the market. And with this company and that it works for everybody all the time, so much gratitude for Candy and Casey introducing to us.
Absolutely, Terry, and you're exactly right. It is a huge market, and we have a social responsibility to share something that adds value to other human beings. It is a social responsibility, to share it with others. So we're going to go through a couple more slides, guys, and finish this out tonight. But we're showing you what it's like if you could put this patch on for a year. If you could put this patch on for a year and a half, 2 years. Here's Gina Consiglio, and I wish I could enlarge all of these pictures. Some of you can see these clearly, but if you have a phone, it's probably too small. But just like her second one, and then the third one, the third one from the left. If you just like focus in on 2 of them and saw like the difference in 10 months. But this whole sequence is absolutely amazing. But she's been on it for a year and a half. She's had the long haul. And you know what? This is just an outside view. If you could look on the inside of her body, which that would be blood work, guys, this is astounding. And so you want to have this patch on, and you want to have this patch on for 18 months. Here's our friend Shirley, the Queen of Booth, who's had this patch on for 23 months. And you can see the difference in everything with her from her neck up. And so, she had hip and elbow and knee discomfort, terrible sleep, dull skin and fine lines, 14-day cycle since 07, severe lactose intolerance. She couldn't eat greens or raw veggies without wrecking her gut and felt older than her age. So now she said 0 joint discomfort, deep and quality sleep, regular cycles that aren't debilitating, fast recovery from workouts, dairy has 0 effect on her gut, no digestive issues, lean muscle increase, healthy and thick hair, growing very quickly, younger and brighter skin without fancy creams. And that's after 23 months. Here's our friend Susan Lejeune, 30 months on the patch. She has had astounding results that cover everything in her life, from her head to her toes. And it's just, these are amazing stories that never get old, because we get to see these people wearing this patch for more than 6 months. And that's why you want to have this patch on and commit to it. Here's our friend Rebecca Plant, who's about to share a testimony with you. The first picture on the left, guys, is Rebecca 7 years ago. And look at today. And she hadn't been on the patch for 7 years. She's only been on the patch for 31 months. And it's just crazy. So I'm going to let Rebecca tell you what's happened to her. Rebecca, you're on.
Good evening, everyone. Well, it's my pleasure and honor. And you know what? That picture when I was 44 years old came in as a memory. So it's just kind of crazy. So here's how we got started. I got started because my husband got started. He was, unfortunately, he was in a car accident. He had sciatica going on, herniated disc, and we were just praying for an answer that he wouldn't have to have a second back surgery. 8 weeks later, doctor cleared him. He did not have to have a second back surgery. Well, I got on the technology because I was like, I saw age reversing and I was like, sign me up. I want to do it too. I don't want my stem cells to be dormant. Let me get on this too. And so just started patching. I really didn't have any expectations. I take care of myself. I take supplements. I do a lot of great things to take care of myself. So I didn't know what to expect, quite frankly, but I would hop on these Zooms and I just continued to be excited about what it was going to do for me. 4 months later, my right hip stopped clicking. My thumb discomfort went away. My workouts were incredible, recovering. But here's the thing that was really wonderful is the hormone levels started leveling out. My brain fog was gone. And then what I didn't think would be possible, because I was told it would just, that was it, and it was going to continue to be what you see is what you get, was they call it melasma. Basically, it's a darkening of the skin every time, because of hormones. And every time we had a baby, we have 4 daughters, my face got darker and darker and darker. And it was not even just like cute little freckles. It was more of like big brown splotchiness. I'm okay with that. I was like, hey, this is just what happens when you have babies. I'm like, that's my prize. So 0 expectations for that. We had about 1.5 years on the patches. I had that memory come up. And then I looked at a picture that we took at dinner, because I kind of stopped taking pictures. I didn't know I was doing that. I just was taking pictures of everybody else. And I looked at a side by side, and I was blown away that my face, the inflammation had gone down. My face had gotten lighter. I'm now 1 year older. I'm 51, and it continues to be incredible. And even if I go out into the sun and it maybe flares up, I'm not saying it's completely gone. I'm saying it's faded big time. It goes away like that. And the other thing too is when I color my hair, I actually, within the week or 2, I literally like have a headband of gray, like just so quickly. And I can barely, like my hair is just growing back, like as it's infusing this beautiful light, like gray. I'm barely getting it. And that is saving me some serious money. And I just noticed one more thing. My husband was telling me this, is that so I have a big, okay, women, work with me on this one. I have one of those magnifying mirrors, right? I have noticed that I actually have to flip. I can no longer look at the magnifying mirror to put my makeup on because it's too much. My eyes are improving. I actually flip it to the normal side where I actually see my entire face, and I can actually put my makeup on and take less time doing that because I'm not in the mirror just kind of, looking at my face. I'm not a superficial person, but I am a person who does take care of myself. I do sign language at church. I'm on stage doing the worship team. And I did pray, Lord, if you can just help me look this great until I'm 75, 80 years old on stage and worshiping you, Lord, I'm all about it. So this is so exciting. I love just being able to continue to age reverse. And I just feel like it's compounding benefits the longer you're on it. And even my spider veins are gone in my left leg here, and my right leg's coming along. So it's a process. Why would I want to stop the goodness? It's incredible.
Yeah, and change other people's lives in the process. So that's amazing, Rebecca.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You look great.
Thank you.
And I got to see the proof in the pudding in Mexico, because you did. You look like the person on the right. That person on the left, I don't see that person anymore at all. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, here's someone I live with every day. Here's my wife, Diane. And this was February. She's always been beautiful, but there's still differences that happen when you reverse age. This picture, the first picture she took was on the left, was February 2023, 30 months ago. This is without makeup. Here's today, right now, after 30 months, big difference. You can see from eyes and everything, droopiness in the eyes, all of that. Just take a look at the details of that. And then here's where also she was May of 2023, the picture on the left versus today. Everybody that sees my wife says, you look at least 10 years younger. And I see her every day, and I think she looks 10 to 15 years younger. So I want to bring on my wife now, to tell you anything she wants to tell you about her story or LifeWave as we wrap up tonight.
Oh, there you go. Okay, super. So, yes, I did run across that picture from several months ago, because I was like, you don't typically take pictures of your face without makeup on, right? But I had done it for a friend that was going to help me with some makeup. And so she asked me to take no makeup picture just in front of the light. And so when I went back to it and put it side by side, I was literally amazed. I mean, just like these other ladies have talked about, you don't know really what you're signing up for when you start putting this patch on. I put the patch on because I was looking to help with some discomfort with my knees. I didn't research it or look too deep into it. It was just a friend that I trusted, or that Danny and I trusted. And so, but at the same time, just going back to the years that Danny and I had been in the nutrition business, we've been in health and wellness in this industry for 28 years. And there was all these things that we did through the years so that we would age and age well, and that we would look better as we aged. And we both felt like we were failing desperately. And that really frustrated me. So I was looking for all things anti-aging, anything holistic. I did not want to take drugs. I didn't want to to do anything that would be like surgery. So I was looking for a solution. And so when this patch came into my life, we were all in. The first thing I noticed was brain fog. So that was kind of like a surprise to me because I had really bad brain fog, and that lifted. Then I noticed that I was sleeping better. I had more energy, not just energy, but productive energy, which was really exciting. And then I noticed that I wasn't getting up in the night to go to the bathroom, and that I was, as I said, I was sleeping so well, just deep sleep. And then overall body comfort. Like I wasn't waking up feeling like the Tin Man. I could tell that this was just continuing to get better and better. The longer I was on it, the better it got, to where now even into the next year, like into into the second year, I noticed some additional changes, like with I had been dealing with skin issues that completely left, but it didn't happen in the first year. It happened in the second year. So again, give it the time it deserves, because it was a battle, and I was so happy that it's over, along with, like the crepey skin. I look back at those pictures and I was really concerned, and I was, again, looking for all the things to preserve beauty and look for ways to anti-age. Who knew there was something that reverse aged? And so needless to say, it's been amazing, and it's hard not to tell everybody about.
It certainly is. And guys, the proof's in the pudding tonight, with all the before and afters, all the pictures that you've seen and the stories you've heard. And the last one is our friend Billy Knatzer. And, she's 83 years old. And when she got on these patches, 30 months ago or so, 32 months ago, you see on the left what what her appearance was in November 2022. We don't have time to tell you her whole story tonight. It was inside out. It was like Humpty Dumpty fell, had a great fall, it was sit on the wall and had a great fall. And her body was broken. She just didn't even want to get out of bed. There's so much to the story, and you'll hear it. If you stick around, you're going to hear her story one day, and it would blow you away. But just in appearance alone, look what it's done for her inflammation, her wrinkles, and her overall appearance. But it's been massive miracles. But she's been consistent too, and she's worn this patch for every month for every decade she's been alive. And we encourage you to do the same thing, and you're going to know that the patch really does work. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what you can do to get on these patches. And before I do, because we're only just a couple minutes away, I want you to know I got to give you a next step. But before I do that, I just want to tell you what the company has done, LifeWave, because here's why it's a social responsibility. When this patch came out 4.5 years ago, it just revolutionized the world as we know it for those of us that are in the world of LifeWave, because we have this social responsibility to get the patch on other people and change their life. There's too many miracles that people need. And so because this patch is so powerful and it works like it works, it caused the company to go from a $20 million company in revenue 4 years ago to a $600 million company last December. And that's tremendous growth. We're the fastest growing company in the world in direct sales. We've earned an award 2 years in a row now as the #1 momentum company, a growth company in the world of direct sales. We're the fastest growing team in the fastest growing company in the world of direct sales. And we have a product that's in high demand and everybody wants it. And there is, we believe, a social responsibility to share it. So here's how you can get started. Being just a customer to get one sleeve for 30 days, we don't really support that. If someone demanded that, we would let them do it, but we don't support that in the sense that we don't want someone to get on the patch for 30 days and say, well, your patch didn't give me 10 miracles and, it really doesn't work. When the patch works. And so for someone to just get on it for 30 days and say, well, I didn't feel anything or I didn't see anything. Guys, it's clinically proven that 97% of the people that wear this patch for 90 days see noticeable results. It doesn't say 30 days. It's clinically proven that in 90 days, 97% of the people will see noticeable results. The other 3% are getting results. It's just internal and they don't see them. The blood work would support that, or the bioelectrical testing and the urine testing would support that. But if everybody's not getting the urine test, the bioelectrical testing, and the blood work, then they may not know. But especially at 30 days, we would rather you be a preferred customer and get it wholesale for $99.95 and commit to a minimum 90 days. but preferably 1 month for every decade you've been alive. But then some people choose to become a brand partner, and here's where we'll finish up tonight. Because a lot of times you want to share this with your friends or family, like Dinah and I did. Dinah and I weren't working this business for 8 months, but we became brand partners, which is this, and got an enrollment kit so that we, in case we wanted to get it to our friends and family, we had a method to do that because it gave us a link at, our own back office website that we could send to people to get them on the patches. So we would tell people, we're not even working this as a business. You got to get on this patch. It does miracles. We did that for 8 months with different friends and family. Okay. So a core package or core kit is 3 sleeves of X39 for $295. That gets you a spot in the company and you're officially a brand partner so that you can share these patches with your friends and family. And yes, you can get your patches paid for or earn extra income, which we won't go into all that tonight. But then secondly, you can become and get an advanced kit, which opens up the whole marketing plan. It's $535 plus tax and shipping, gives you the equivalent of 6 sleeves of X39 and opens up a business for you. And then lastly, there's the premium kit, which is for people with brick and mortar or someone who wants a lot of inventory for a much deeper discount of $87.50 per sleeve. You can get 20 sleeves of X39. And that's if you had a large family and you're ready to get patches out there to a lot of different friends or family and for a lot of different people to try. A premium kit is an incredible way to go too. And it gives you 3 months worth of monthly subscription credit as well. So these are the enrollment kits if you were to become a brand partner. And if you did that, if you bought a core kit or an advanced kit or a premium kit, there's no fee to enroll as a brand partner. There's no sign up fee. It's just you're buying sleeves is what you're buying. So those are your options. Now the key is to get back with that person who got you on tonight's Zoom and ask them how you can get started with the X39 patch and how it can change your life in the next few months and even change the lives of other people around you. We would love to entertain you as being a member of our team, and we're here to help you. We've got an incredible system. There's just so many things we can't share tonight, but we wanted you to get a great introduction to the benefits of the longevity of wearing this patch and how it can change your life. So thanks for joining me. Get back with your friend or family member. God bless you.